Okay, so I didn't even get to start with making my frame for the concrete first. Everything came in one bag for all the pieces. So it's not like you got one of these or two of these or whatever. So I started laying stuff out. And you really do have to be pretty handy to accomplish this. The directions are actually very good all the way up until you got to reverse the polarity to get it to open up the left gate like I need. So what I did is to get a jump start and everything, to make sure I have everything, I separated all the bolts. Now these are the anchor bolts that I got to put into the concrete. This is the end of the chain pieces, and I do have rounded poles, so that's what goes into here. So I put all these, the washers and the lock nuts together. These are the limit switches. I was wondering what these were for. Now these are the limit switches. They do have sliding to go left and right, which they should actually go up and down, because apparently that's how people have the most problems. What I wish they would do, but I didn't open this up yet, is have limit switch stop, limit switch start on the front of this. This way you would know exactly. It has it in centimeters, I believe, how high across the bottom of the plane to one and the other one. So this is going to be pretty interesting. And these brackets are made for a square pole. So this is where you would probably have to do some fabrication. Alright. But in order for me to get the diameter, it does say where the how big your pad has to be. 24 inches by 12 inches by 18 inches deep is what they suggest your pad. Now they do have the U-bolts that bolt into these right here. The U-bolts bolt into here with the washers. But actually, believe it or not, it looks like hell. Those things, if they start to rust, they'll pop right through there. I was thinking about buying some anchor bolts and putting my own anchor bolts in here is actually what I was thinking on doing. Or put in my own, I got grade 8 bolts. Put in my own grade 8 bolts inside there. But in order for me to get my schematic on where it's supposed to be, I have to put this together first. So these two pieces right here, actually, this right here is just the center piece for these two pieces right here. So you gotta get the screws and screw this together, and then I'll be right with you. Okay, so I wound up taking the motor off right there, the cover, and I put in the brackets together. Now here, I thought, I had no idea what these were for and what these were for. I thought these little Allens were for the top of here to mount on the stand, but the little Allens are for the inner brace right there, and these right here, the bigger ones, are to mount right here with your washers and lock washers through here, right here. So the little Allens are for your brace, and these four right here are to mount that to the base right there. Everything is going on. Spring nut, washer, nut. Everything has a spring nut and a washer. Spring nut, washer. This one, spring nut, nut, spring nut, washer, nut. This is for the chain to go on the chain right here. So they do give you enough washers and spring nuts. It's just not clear where the pieces go. And you see I got this bolted together, and on the top it looks like a little cockeye. So I'm gonna have to kind of bend it and able to get the motor on it. But the motor is gonna be this right here. And actually, I'm short 2 spring nuts. You see that? I should have 2 more spring nuts, because these go right here. Spring nut, washer, and then at the bottom, it's going to go on top right here. And at the bottom is going to be a washer and a nut. So I am short 2 of the bigger spring nuts. Okay, so here I am. This is a stage. I haven't even made the form for the concrete pad yet, because I'm going to put a piece of cardboard underneath this and cut out the holes, circle where the holes are, and cut the holes. These are the J bolts for it. Those I looked at the bolts on here, and these are a grade 4.8. I mean, this is all made to work together, but I got every time I use something, I put grade 8, just the best on there, so I don't got to deal with it. So I say one of the faults down the road would be if you got these anchor bolts in the ground and they rust out, that could be a fault because you got this whole concrete pad with a rusted anchor bolt in it. So what I'm going to do, since that came with this package here, is I'm just going to use like the specialized WD-40 to stop rust. I'm going to put on the anchor bolts in the ground. I want to make the template for this. Okay, so there's the things to hold the chain those, bolt those to the poles. Okay, that was good. I told you what I didn't like was those are the limit switches, and those brackets are for the limit switches. I think it would be easier to put them sideways so they can slide up and down, because this is one thing I feel they should do. This is what the limit switch passes right here. They should have a line right here or something to let you know which limit switch it's actually at. So that's the fabrication I think you're going to have to do, is fabricate these onto the fence where you're going to need. Now I actually tried these extra square U-bolts, seeing that this was for an extra square fence. They do not fit. You'd have to drill these out a little more. These are extra long bolts that came with it. They do not fit in there. So there's nothing that comes that you could bolt these in. So with the limit switches, you will have to fabricate. Now these are the extra washers that I have, but everything else I have together already. My next phase would be to make my template and go make my concrete. It's supposed to be 24 inches long by 18 inches, 24 inches long, 12 inches wide, 18 inches deep. This will be one of the last things I tackle. This is the box right here. I do have to reverse the polarity in this one right here. So now that all this is together, I have exactly what pieces I need, and I did figure out already I would have to fabricate where those limit switches go. I could start. After I get my concrete pad laid, I could actually start by putting those on just to hold on to the fence, and then afterward I can loosen them up and adjust them to where this is going to be. Now the concrete pad is going to have to be close to the fence, but one good thing is it gives you a lot of place to slide the whole motor back and forth. Alright, either way, gonna go make my form and dig a hole. Bye bye.